Canosa,
Here.
Opinker.
Here. Thank you, Clerk Golick. Moving on to reading of minutes.
Motion to approve.
A motion by Councilman Markovich, second by Councilman Higgs. Is there any discussion on approval of minutes? All those in favor? Opposed? Minutes approved. Moving on to approval of claims.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Markovich.
move for approval of claims February 4th through February 18, 2015 for council meeting February 23rd, 2015. Beginnings with claims dated 2/12/15 and ending with claims dated 2/18/15, claim number 920 through claim number 1251 for a total of $10,937,479.59. I so move.
Second.
There's a motion by Councilman Markovich, second by Councilman Higgs on approval of claims. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman
I
Markovich.
have two amendments. Claim number 1252, Jeff Youngham, $10,000. It's performance bond release for property of 6307 Nebraska and 6431 Nebraska. Claim number 1253, School City of Hammond Robotics, $100, donation by Councilman Henioso, and that bond was for $10,000. I so move. Second.
There's a motion by Councilman Markovich on amending the minutes. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Hinojosa. Is there any discussion on the amendment of the claims? Clerk Gola, roll call vote on the amendment of the claims.
Markovich,
Yes.
Spitali, Vines,
yes,
Kalwinski,
Yes.
Ulaki,
Yes.
Higgs,
Yes.
Emerson,
Yes.
Canosa,
Yes.
Opinker.
Yes. Amended claims pass 8-0, one absent. Now the claims as written. Clerk Gola, roll call vote.
Markovich,
Yes.
Spitali, Vines,
yes,
Kalwinski,
Yes.
Ulaki,
Yes.
Higgs,
Yes.
Emerson,
Yes.
Canosa,
Yes.
Opinker.
Yes. Claims pass 8-0, one absent. Moving on to public hearing. Now open for public hearing on 1502, vacated an 80-foot portion of Sheffield Avenue lying between 2704 Sheffield and 2340 Sheffield. The public hearing is now open, if anybody wishes to speak. Public hearing is now open if anybody would like to speak on 1502. Seeing none, hearing none, the public hearing is now closed. Moving on to communications.
Mr. President,
Councilman Higgs.
see the correspondence that says, Dear City Council, on February 28, 2015, Morton High School will be hosting an advanced placement student conference from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Some of the Hammond brightest students will be in attendance. This conference provides students with the Clark, Gavitt, Hammond High School, and Lake Central an opportunity to participate in lessons taught by experts in the field from all over the country. Please feel free to stop by to observe a session or encourage our students to do their best on the upcoming AP exam. Any donations such as water, soda, donuts, or other snack items would also be appreciated pending school board's approval.
Any other communications? Any other communications? Communications is now closed. Moving on to committee reports. Are there any committee reports?
Mr. President,
Councilman Hinojosa.
council as a whole will be bringing out 1502.
Any other committee reports? The only thing we have coming out is 1502. Committee reports is now closed. Moving on to ordinance, third and final passage.
Ordinance number 15-02, sponsored by Councilman Kalwinski. An ordinance vacating an 80-foot portion of Sheffield Avenue lying between 2704 Sheffield Avenue and 2340 Sheffield Avenue in the city of Hammond, Lake County, Indiana.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Kowinski.
I move for final passage of 15-02.
There's a motion by Councilman Kowinski, second by Councilman Hinojosa on final passage of 1502. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Kowinski.
this is, as the clerk read, it's a vacating of the old Sheffield Avenue where it ran, and it is now tore up and part of parkland at the New Wolf Lake Extended Park. So it's important that we vacate the land and replat it in the near future. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Any other discussion on 1502? Clerk Golick, roll call vote on 1502.
Markovich.
Yes.
Spitali. Vines.
Yes.
Kalwinski.
Yes.
Ulaki.
Yes.
Higgs.
Yes.
Emerson.
Yes.
Enosa.
Yes.
Opinker.
Yes, ordinance 1502 passes 8-0, one absent.
President Opinker, that concludes the ordinances for final passage.
Thank you, Clerk Golick. Moving on to introduction of ordinances.
Item A, ordinance 15-05, sponsored by Councilwoman Vines. An ordinance to appropriate funds from the operating balance for the Hammond Park Department.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Vines.
I move for first and second reading, place in finance, with a public hearing on March 23rd.
Second.
There's a motion by Councilwoman Vines, second by Councilman Hinojosa for first and second reading on 1505, a public hearing on March 23rd, 2015. Is there any discussion?
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Vines.
this will appropriate $57,000 from the operating balance to special events in the amount of $50,000 and key and cleanup refunds of $7,000.
Any other discussion on first and second on 1505? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? First and second passes.
Item B, ordinance 15-06, sponsored by Councilwoman Vines. An ordinance to appropriate funds in the Hotel Motel Innkeepers Tax Fund for the Hammond Park Department.
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Vines.
I move for first and second reading of 1506, place in finance, with a public hearing March 23rd.
Second.
There's a motion by Councilwoman Vines, second by Councilman Hinojosa on first and second reading on 15-06 with a public hearing on March 23rd of 15 and be put in finance. Is there any discussion?
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Vines.
this will appropriate $28,777.17 from the innkeeper's tax to the hotel motel fund.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? First and second passes.
Item C, ordinance 15-07, sponsored by Councilman Higgs. An ordinance designating the 1100 block of Merrill Street as Honorary Arnold Rogel Senior Street.
Mr. President,
Councilman Higgs.
I move 1507 on first and second reader by title and refer to council as a whole. I so move.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Higgs, second by Councilman Hinojosa for first and second on 1507. Is there any discussion?
Mr. President,
Councilman Higgs.
the last meeting I stated that I would be honoring a couple of people within my district, and one is Mr. Regel, who was one of the founding members of the Disability Commission here in Hammond. And as the council meeting goes on in the end, we'll read the ordinance in its entirety.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? First and second passes.
President Opinker, that concludes the introduction of ordinances.
Thank you, Clerk Golick. Moving on to resolutions.
Item A, Resolution 15R04, sponsored by Councilman Kalwinski. A resolution recommending an amendment to the City of Hammond Arboricultural Specifications Manual.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Kowinski.
I move for passage of 15R-04.
Second.
So motion by Councilman Kowinski, second by Councilman Emerson on final passage of 15R04. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Kowinski.
it's been a couple decades since our tree ordinance has been updated, and given the rash of devastation on the ash borer phenomena, it makes sense to update our tree ordinance to make sure that the trees that are suitable for planting get listed on the ordinance, and the ones that are not get listed on the ordinance as well. And this is a recommendation to do that. And that's why the resolution was made. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Clerk Golick, roll call vote.
Markovich.
Yes.
Spitali. Vines.
Yes.
Kalwinski.
Yes.
Ulaki.
Yes.
Higgs.
Yes.
Emerson.
Yes.
Hinosa.
Yes.
Opinker.
Yes, 15R04 passes 8-0, one absent.
President Opinker, that concludes the reading of the resolutions.
Thank you, Clerk Golick. Moving on to new and unfinished business.
Mr. President,
Councilman Higgs.
I make a motion we suspend the rules to, for third and final passage of 1507. I so move.
Second.
So motion by Councilman Higgs to suspend the rules, motion by Councilman Higgs to suspend the rules, second by Councilman Markovich. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Rules suspended.
Ordinance 15-07, sponsored by Councilman Higgs, an ordinance designating the 1100 block of Merrill Street as Honorary Arnold Rogel Senior Street.
Mr. President,
Councilman Higgs.
I'd like Clerk Golick to read that ordinance in its entirety.
Clerk Golick.
Motion to pass in a second, Mr. Chairman.
I'll make that motion. I'll make a motion to pass 1507 on third and final reading. I so move.
Ordinance 15-07, whereas Arnold Rogel Sr. first came to Purdue University Calumet in Hammond in 1968 after working in the post office and serving in the U.S. Army in the Korean War. Upon arriving at Purdue Calumet, he sued the university for equal rights. From that experience, he became an advocate for students of color. By 1976, he worked in student services, leaving a legacy that became so valuable that when he retired, he was asked to return to Purdue Calumet to work as the From Boots to Boots first ombudsman. Again, he used his excellent expertise to assist military students receive their educational benefits, to update military records, and to transition back into civilian life. His motto, that is still the aim of the program, is and always will be, no veteran or enlisted student left behind. In recognition of his services, the council finds it appropriate to designate an honorary street in his memory. Therefore, be it ordained by the Common Council of the City of Hammond that the 1100 block of Merrill Street is hereby designated Honorary Arnold Rogel Sr. Street. An honorary designation does not change the official name of a street or the addresses of any persons living on the street.
Any discussion on 1507?
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Markovich.
you mentioned that Arnold came there in 1968. I graduated from Tech in 69 and went to Purdue from 69 to 73. And I can remember Arnold with his bandana and his hat on and in his wheelchair. And it was a pleasure to meet him and work with him. And he was a feisty guy. And you know what? There's an offspring here in the audience, and she's just as feisty as her father was. So I'd just like to mention that. Thank you.
Any other discussion?
Mr. President,
Councilman Emerson.
you know, as a veteran and a veteran that attended college, and after reading the ordinance, I totally would like to help honor by co-sponsoring this ordinance if I could.
Thank you, Councilman Emerson.
Okay, you had Councilman Emerson as a co-sponsor.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Markovich.
I'd make a recommendation we put all city council members as sponsors of this ordinance.
So do. Put us all in there, Clerk Golick, as co-sponsors. Any other discussion? Clerk Golick, roll call vote.
Markovich.
Yes.
Spitali. Vines.
Yes.
Kalwinski.
Yes.
Ulaki.
Yes.
Higgs.
Yes.
Emerson.
Yes.
Enosa.
Yes.
Opinker.
Yes, 1507 passes 8-0, one absent. Now, could I have a motion to go back to regular order of business?
So moved.
Mr. President,
Councilman Higgs?
we have also a proclamation I would like to read.
Okay.
In honor of another one of my constituents in the 3rd District is Mr. Leo Hartwell. It says, whereas Leo Hartwell graduated from Hammond High School as one of the 5 African Americans and graduated in the class of 555, he then enlisted in the United States Air Force and was the first integrated unit in the 1949 Lakeland AFB in San Diego, Texas. He served in various key positions throughout his 20 years in the Air Force. These positions included Chief Clerk to the Commanding General of the Air Weather Service, Administrative Supervisor with the Military Advancement Group and LATOS, Senior Clerk in the Base Commander of Burkle Hill Air Force Base, Peoria, Indiana, and Santo Technicians with the Office of Secretary of Defense Advanced Research Project Agency in Burkle, Thailand.
His most challenging position was his final 2 years, 1967 and 1969, with the Joint Chiefs of Staff's summaries at the Pentagon. One of his performance evaluations stated he provided daily and weekly statistical summaries of B-52 operations in Southeast Asia and provided statistical data for use throughout the Department of Defense, State Department, and the White House. For this work, he was awarded the Joint Chiefs of Staff's Commendation Medal for exceptionally meritorious achievement in the performance of outstanding service to the organization.
In 1991, Leo retired for the second time after serving 21 years with the Bureau of National Affairs Incorporated, a private publishing firm in Washington, D.C. During the last 15 years of this employment, he was a deputy personnel manager, and he was primarily responsible for employees' benefits for over 1,400 employees. He returned to Hammond and served as secretary for the Hammond branch of the NAACP. He also served as secretary at the Philia Sting Center Board of Directors for a number of years. He later became vice president of the Philia Sting Center Board of Directors. At the same time, the center acting director from 2004 to 2006. Even though he retired, he keeps busy assisting friends and associates with the morale of problems in areas such as health, insurance, and taxes.
Therefore, we proclaim that the Common Council, on behalf of the citizens of the City of Hammond, recognize and honor Leo Hartwell.
I so move.
There's a motion by Councilman Higgs, second by Councilman Hinojosa to honor. We have to have a roll call vote on that? Clerk Golick, we have a roll call vote on that proclamation?
While he's preparing that, I'll read off all the signatures of my colleagues to sign the proclamation. Michael Pinker, President. Janet Vanez, Councilwoman at Large. Anthony Higgs, 3rd District Councilman. Robert Markovich, Councilman at Large. Mark Kowinski, 1st District Councilman. William Emerson, Sr., 4th District Councilman. Jack Ulacki, Second District Councilman Chico Hinojosa, Sixth District Councilman, and Councilman Spitali's not here, but I'm sure he'll sign it as well.
Okay, Clerk Gullik, roll call vote.
Markovich.
Yes.
Spitali. Vines.
Yes.
Yawinski.
Yes.
Ulaki.
Yes.
Higgs.
Yes.
Emerson.
Yes.
Enosa.
Yes.
Opinker.
Yes, proclamation passes 8-0, one absent. Now could I have a motion to go back to regular order of business?
Mr. President,
Councilman Hinojosa.
motion to go back to regular order of business?
Second.
The motion by Councilman Hinojosa, second by Councilman Emerson to go back to regular order of business. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Back to new unfinished business. Any other new unfinished business?
Mr. President.
Councilwoman Vines.
Yes, I would like to make a motion to create a special committee for Community and Crime Watch. As you know, I'm very involved in the Community and Crime Watch groups here in the city of Hammond, and having a special committee would allow me to make the Crime Watch announcements without the announcements getting mixed up with the business that's conducted under new and unfinished business. I so move.
There's a motion by Councilwoman Vines to create a committee on crime watches. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Hinojosa. Is there any discussion? Clerk Gullik, roll call vote on the creation of the committee for crime watches.
Markovich. Spitali. Vines.
Yes.
Yawinski.
Yes.
Ulaki.
Yes.
Higgs. Enosa.
Yes.
Opinker.
Yes.
Emerson.
Yes.
Creation of the committee passes 8-0, one absent. Any other new and unfinished business?
Mr. President,
Councilwoman Vines.
and as I do at every meeting, I would like to announce all of the Community and Crime Watch meetings that are coming up before our next council meeting. For those who wish to do good in their community and know what's going on in their neighborhood. Coming up on Friday, March 6th, Irving Community Watch will meet at Irving School, 9:15 a.m. Wednesday, February 25th, Jefferson Crime Watch will meet at Jefferson School at 6:30 p.m. Wednesday, March 4th, Edison Community Watch will meet at Edison School at 6:30 p.m. Edison Community Watch on the Road will meet Friday, March 6th, 1 p.m. at the Golden Manor Senior Apartments. Pulaski Park Neighborhood Association will meet Tuesday, February 24th at the American Legion on Goslin. And that is how change happens. One gesture, one person, one moment at a time. Thank you.
Any other new and unfinished business?
Mr. President,
Councilman Higgs.
just like to send a letter to, I guess, the street department in reference to the honorary sign. Just like to know the date of them posting the sign so we can try to arrange to have some type of ceremony when the signs are posted on Merrill Street. I so move.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Higgs, second by Councilman Hinojosa to send the street department a letter regarding the honorable signs when it's going to be posted. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion granted. Any other new and unfinished business?
Mr. President,
Councilman Emerson.
yesterday morning, Sunday, I received an early morning phone call from a former Legion member who said that Mr. Clyde Colgrove had passed away yesterday morning. The reason I think it's germane to our meeting is he's been very active in Hammond with the American Legion, active with the Department of Indiana, started a scholarship at Post 168 for one boy and one girl that we ran for several years. It was his main idea of many that he did at the regional level in the state of Indiana for the Legion, the district level, And even further back, he worked, per him, as he told me, with our clerk Golick, who wasn't clerk back then, in Hessville, fighting to keep Miller School open. Apparently, at that time, I don't know if it was budget problems, I don't know why, but they were threatening to close the school. So he went around to the neighborhood and really worked to keep it open. So I just wanted to pass that on here, that he spent a long time helping people, and it happened rather suddenly, but, you know, it's not a given that we're here. So the wake is at Smith's Funeral Home. I'm sure it'll be in the paper Thursday, and a ceremony on the following day, Friday, at Post 180 in Highland. So, thank you.
Any other new unfinished business?
Mr. President,
Councilman
I
Hayes.
just had a question for Councilman Emerson. How many years have they been in business here in Hammond?
Has who been in business, Councilman?
Didn't you speak on terms of Mr. Corellis, who passed away?
No, it was
Oh.
Clyde Colgrove. Mr. Colgrove originally is from Hammond, lived in Hessville, and passed away Sunday morning. No, I didn't mention Mr. Corellis.
Well, let me send my condolences to the Corellis family. Mr. Corellis passed away, and I know they've had a roofing business here in Hammond for a number of years. So I certainly want to send my condolences to their entire family.
Okay, any other new unfinished business? Clerk Golick?
Mr. President, I would just like to add some words. What Councilman Emerson talked about, Mr. Colgrove, we had fought the closing of Miller School at that time, and he, along with myself and two other homeowners, put up the equity in our homes to guarantee the attorneys that they would receive their pay, which came to, at the end of that year, a little over $17,000. So that's how committed he was in believing in his community, that he would put up the equity in his house to fight for what we thought was the right thing for the kids in our area. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Clerk Golick. Any other new and unfinished business? New and unfinished business is now closed. Moving on to public expression. The only speaker of the evening, Adrian Sargent.
Good evening, Council. My name is Adrian Sargent, a resident of Hammond for the past 4 years. I would like to comment and bring awareness to a new pet shop called Hug-A-Pup located at 6931 Calumet Avenue that opened up last September, owned and operated by Susan Naraki. Susan informed me the reason she brought her business to Hammond was to escape a humane ordinance set to go into effect March 5th, 2015 in Chicago, where she currently has another puppy store. She explained she chose the location because it's just a mile over the border of Illinois state line and close to the expressway. Susan also informed me that her puppies come from not only her own breeding dogs, her Amish friends, non-regulated breeders living in Shipshewana, and other friends she personally knows. In my opinion, basically puppy mills and unscrupulous backyard breeders. My main concern here is that no one is held responsible for the health of these very young puppies being sold. When I asked Susan what veterinarian she used, she claimed her brother is a vet. A little more about the ordinance. The ordinance was made to help put an end to the diabolical and inhumane treatment of the breeding dogs left in the puppy mills caused by this type of industry. It also helps alleviate the strain put on the community, animal control, shelters, and rescues as a whole. Once that spontaneous purchase is made by an irresponsible customer and they decide they do not have the money to spend on the health care or the time to dedicate to the puppy's upbringing and toss it off like a broken TV in the alley. Both Chicago and Cook County, Illinois, have worked tirelessly along with their concerned communities to end the cruelty of animals that the puppy mill industry and these types of businesses support. To understand the cruelty involved, I encourage each and every one of you to Google what is a puppy mill, Amish puppy mills, and a website called Prisoners of Greed. In a very short time, you will learn the truth and see one of America's dirty little secrets come to life. After that, I would ask you to ask yourself, is this the kind of business Hammond needs? Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion by Councilman Hinojosa, second by Councilman Kowinski. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.